Hello, everyone. So, today I got an interesting comment asking me a question that, from my perspective, the answer is fairly obvious to. However, it did make me think about other people's attitudes towards this hobby and the seemingly the confusion and dismay that they tend to display in response to people that are passionate about it. And I don't mean to portray that as an odd thing on their part. They simply have other hobbies, other interests, etc. And so with this video, I want to try to explain why I like learning languages, particularly because the commenter in question, I think, raised an interesting point, which is like, okay, if you don't talk to that many people, why are you so into this? I don't fully understand. And that's what I want to answer in this video. Because today, I started out my day as I tend to. I got on my computer, opened up BBC Mundo or BBC World, and I read an article in the news, understood most of it, had to look up words here and there or think a couple times about a specific structure that I saw. But in general, I was able to read it pretty quickly, understood the information. From there on, I recorded a video. Actually, not from there on. I listened to a short video in Spanish, and then I recorded that video that was posted earlier, and I went to go make some eggs for myself, and I ate the eggs, came back here, and watched more videos in Spanish. A little bit later, that guy comments, and I'm like, huh, interesting. So I reply, and then I do some cleaning, and then I'm back here. Generally, the start of my day involves more Spanish language media consumption than just that. I mean, we're only like 2 hours in, so there's going to be quite a bit more going on from here on out. But generally, my day starts with a lot more than that. And there's a reason. It's because I enjoy consuming media. But more than that, I enjoy consuming foreign media. I enjoy not just consuming it in my own language, but consuming said foreign media from a perspective as closely approximating their own as I can manage. It when you are learning another language, I believe it opens a door to another reality. You start to see things more from the perspective of the people that speak that language. You begin to have more empathy for how they frame things, the way that the world turns for them. And I find that process very interesting. I don't think you have to talk to a lot of people to have the desire to empathize with them, or to develop a better understanding for the world as they see it. And that's only one small part of why I find this process so enjoyable. I think more than anything, the satisfaction that I get, the feeling of accomplishment that I get from listening to something and fully understanding it, or reading something and fully understanding it, or not even fully understanding it, just getting like 75% and then comparing that to where I used to be in the language, it's a level of satisfaction that is incomparable for me. I've never experienced anything like it before. I don't have an analog. I don't have something that I can say is nearly as satisfying. And for those of you who've watched my channel for a long time, you know that I tend to get very passionate about my interests, that I tend to obsess over them, and that I tend to associate them with very strong, very positive emotions. And yet, in the midst of all those different passions and the strong feelings that I have about them, and the many years that I spend immersed in them, there's no comparison for language learning. Language learning is by far the most satisfying, the most fun hobby that I've ever engaged in. And on one level, it is because it's very satisfying to see one's progress and to see the tangible results of one's progress. It's very satisfying to learn new things in relation to your target language. So identifying a word that you've never seen before, identifying a grammatical structure that you're unfamiliar with, these are all new opportunities to learn, which are very exciting because they provide information which is unbeknownst to you. They're things that can feed your curiosity, and they never really end because languages are very big and you can't know everything. Native speakers, even experts, don't know everything, and so you're constantly learning more in pursuit of this goal of fluency and then beyond. And so I think the the sheer game of it, the love of the game is certainly a huge aspect. But another thing that I can't underrate or underemphasize here is the fact that when you are learning a language and you're a big media consumer like myself, the hobby that is language learning kind of becomes all of your other hobbies. It becomes reading. It becomes playing video games. It becomes listening to music. It becomes watching movies. It becomes watching YouTube videos. It becomes reading the news, reading about history. I mean, I just named some of my biggest hobbies, some of the things that I love to do the most in the world, and yet all of those things can be done in pursuit of whatever my target language is. And so, over the last, it's been about a year, almost a year, that I have been learning Spanish every day. Over this period of time, I have found myself able to consume more and more media because I spend nearly every waking hour of my day in pursuit of this goal. And throughout most of this journey, I literally did spend pretty much every waking hour of my day. Like there were a couple days where I had, okay, I'm going to talk to this person for like an hour, but even then I would try to make it into a studying thing because I'd be like, hey, let's watch this movie in Spanish. Come on. And then that's the group activity that we had for that day. I've taken short breaks to like post on Denpachan or record these videos, stuff like that. But in general, every hour is an opportunity to study because I'm listening when I'm doing menial tasks around the house. I am reading when I'm on the computer. I mean, even just when I open my devices, I am looking at Spanish because they're in Spanish. When I'm searching something up on the computer, say I have a question about something or there's something I'm curious about, Google gives me the results in Spanish. And when I'm looking up that question, of course it's going to give me that kind of answer because I'm looking it up in that language. When I am doing my tasks around the house and narrating them to myself or trying to think through a problem, I will do the best I can to use Spanish words in my head as I'm doing that. And it feels good. One of the reasons it feels good is because I just genuinely like the language more than I like English. I also like English a whole lot. That's why I have so many books in English. But I like Spanish more. I like Portuguese more, which is another language I'm going to learn after, I reach, ideally my goal with this one is to reach a C2, because most native speakers of most languages are not at a C2. I'm actually at a C2 in English because I can read at a college level. And I've been able to do that since I was like a young teenager. But I want to be able to do that in Spanish as well because there is a lot of literature that you can access and comprehend by getting to that level. And then I want to do the same thing in Portuguese. We're talking about a 100% run right here. And so, oh God, did my thing? Okay, we're fine. Um, and so, there's layers to this, right? There's the ambition, there is the love of media, there is the satisfaction and euphoria that one gets from engaging in their hobbies. But I can't underrate also how good it feels to sort of feel like you're part of a secret club, right? To be able to go on the internet and find media that you would have never found if not for knowing this language, and actually understanding it and getting to enjoy that part of the world. It's I don't know how to describe it. It's almost like an indescribable feeling of euphoria and satisfaction. Um, Moreover, having something that you have to do every single day, that you want to do every single day, is such an amazing thing. Having this routine that is structured around a goal that you can get lost in, that causes the entire world around you to just disintegrate and disappear, and you can totally immerse yourself in that goal. That is such an amazing feeling. It's such an amazing feeling, because the when I think about the directionless way that my life was going for a long time, the way that I sort of felt like I didn't know where I was going to go, what I was going to do, the fact that outside of making YouTube videos and some creative pursuits, I didn't really dedicate myself in a consistent way to anything. It really felt like something was just missing from my life. And developing this discipline and this obsession, revolving my life around this goal, changed everything for me. I mean, it really made me feel so much better about my life and where I am today, and where I'm going in the future as well. It makes me think more about the future, and in a positive way, um, and moreover, it's doubly satisfying because this is a dream I've always had. I've always had the dream of learning Spanish. For as long as I can remember, I've had the dream of going to Latin America, going to all the various countries. I mean, when I was a kid, I just had a globe that I would spin around and I would look at, and I would go through my mom's encyclopedias, which she had a lot of, and I would read about all the different countries. I would try to find as much information as I possibly could about them. And with this knowledge, I feel that I'm closer than ever to that goal of actually actualizing that goal of traveling the world. But moreover, when I look at the fact that I dreamed so vividly and so often about becoming a polyglot, specifically becoming someone who can speak many languages, and over and over again I had tried and failed. When I look at myself now, able to read so much, able to understand so much of what I hear, it feels incredible. It feels incredible because I can actually say to my younger self, my much younger self, hey, you can do that. It is possible. The world that you want to create for yourself is not just a dream. And that's an amazing fucking feeling because I have been dreaming about this for so long. And now I'm actually doing it. I am actually doing it. And not only will I be fluent in Spanish, I will be fluent in Portuguese and Catalan and whatever other language that I want to go after. And I am more confident about that than I am about anything else because I have tangible results to back it up. I have the fact that I have spent every single day pursuing this and feeling amazing while doing it.